is, what is it again? My name's Nick, and I do the watch-alongs on Hammer's Chat YouTube. It's not that interesting, but what is interesting is Graham Potter now confirmed as the manager of West Ham United Football Club. That's good, isn't it? So what I thought would be interesting, at least to me, is to go back through time, if you like, and see what was written about Graham Potter in the past. Not now, because, like Sky Sports, all they're going to do now is get a few quotes in from people saying, yeah, I think it will be good. I mean, people are just polite. And especially something bland like Sky Sports, they're not just going to go on it and slate him. So it's not really helpful information. What is helpful information is, like I say, going back and looking at what people said in the past. I find that more of a helpful reference. So I have taken a break from recording my videos for my OnlyFans account and looked up over the last, I think it goes back like 7 years, to see what people said about Graham Potter at the time. And I think we can learn something from that. We can educate ourselves. Before that, here's a quick summary, because there's always people know he went somewhere and managed somewhere else, overseas maybe, and then, Brighton for a bit, was that good or bad? Fans are a bit divided about that, and you just see lots of things. Oh, he wasn't good at the defence, and he wasn't good at this. Well, anyway, you hear a lot of things. Finally getting to the point, let's just quickly summarise his playing career. I didn't really know he had much of a playing career, but he's actually played over 300 games for clubs like Birmingham, Stoke, Southampton. He described himself as a journeyman footballer, notably featured in Southampton's 6-3 win over terrible, horrible Manchester United in 1996. It says one of the few standout moments of his playing days. A bit cruel. Does that mean he played with Eyal Berkovic? And if it does, which it must, that's his West Ham link, you see. He has a West Ham link. West Ham fans want a West Ham man with a link to the fans and the club and so on. And if he played with Eyal Berkovic, then that's it. That's it. Graham Potter, West Ham man. Eyal Berkovic, his best mate. He taught him everything he knows. Those Berkovic outside of the right foot passes across the pitch, that was probably Potter's idea. And who knows, but probably. So that was that. And then, he was at Ostersund. I don't know how you pronounce that. Östersund is probably how you pronounce that. I don't really know. But anyway, he was there 2011 to 2018. And it says, what we'll do is we'll just do like the summary of what Potter did at each club. And then we will go to the old articles of the past to find out what people said about him. So it says, when Potter took over Östersund in, I don't know why I'm saying Östersund, it could be Ostersund, don't know. The club was languishing in Sweden's fourth tier with no infrastructure, minimal resources, and a small fan base. Potter described it as starting from scratch. Does that sound familiar? There's a lot West Ham, great. I mean, where do you start with that? It's not about us and how crap we are. This is about Graham Potter. Culture Revolution. Potter introduced a unique off-pitch program where players performed arts like theatre and dance. I'm not making this up, and there's more on this later. Theatre and dance to build team cohesion and emotional intelligence. This includes staging production of Swan Lake. Players reported that this helped them communicate better on the pitch. Quote from Graham Potter, "It was about taking them out of their comfort zones," Potter explained. "Football is about people, and this helped us connect." I mean, it's true. It's a true thing. He did that. And we shall explain that later. Tactical brilliance. Potter emphasised technical skills and positional flexibility. A lot more on that later from these football analysis websites. Implementing a possession-based style, he relied heavily on video analysis and individual feedback sessions. I mean, that would be good. Like some form of tactical analysis by the West Ham manager. That would be swell. His achievements, promotion success, guided Östersund, whatever, through 3 promotions in 5 years, reaching the top flight, and they won the Svenska Cupen. In 2017, the club's first major trophy. This victory earned them a spot in the Europa League. In 2017-18 season, Ostersund defeated Turkish giants Galatasaray and advanced to the knockout stages. They famously beat Arsenal 2-1 at the Emirates. So this would have been in 2018. So 2018 at the Emirates, this would have been before Arsenal made up that song that they sing at the start of games, with like a deep burning passion, as if it has some historical relevance to Arsenal, is from the area, is like theirs, it's just made up. They just sing it. And 2018, this was before those like graphic designers called Kevin dressed up in black and called themselves ultras and waved flags, and that wanker in the drum, the wanker with the drum. It was before all of that they made up recently at the Emirates. Anyway, let's not go into that. And then Graham Potter went to Swansea City 2018-19. They'd just been relegated from the Premier League, and says Potter restored Swansea's identity as a possession-based team, blending youth players with experienced professionals. That would be nice. Let's have some of that. Getting youth players in. Players like Daniel James, Ollie McBurney flourished under his guidance, with James earning a 15 million move to Manchester United. Obviously didn't work for James at Manchester United because nonsense business, not a football club. And Swansea reached the FA Cup quarter-finals, narrowly losing 3-2 to Man City in a thrilling game, it says. And then Brighton, 19-22. Possibly the most important aspect to look at articles from 2019, 2021, 22, because this is what a lot of West Ham fans aren't sure about, because we just hear so much, and some people, say, oh, it wasn't because of Potter, and he wasn't even that good, and you hear a lot. So finally getting to these football tactical analysis websites, which will give really detailed information with, images and videos and all of this, is what we'll do. But the summary: tactical evolution. Potter introduced a flexible possession-based system, often using unconventional formations like 3-4-2-1 or 3-5-1-1. His teams were known I had a brain fart there, for building from the back using centre-backs like Lewis Dunk and Adam Webster as playmakers. Brighton consistently outperforms their expected goals, even though no one likes that. Player development. So he not only were players improved at what they did under Potter at Brighton, but they actually changed a lot of what they did. So Bissouma transformed into a more defensive midfielder. That got him his move to terrible nonsense Tottenham. Cucurella obviously went to Chelsea after one season. Tariq Lamptey developed into a wing-back, and also McAllister, obviously now at Liverpool. He was seen as like a creative 10. I'm not sure if it's because he looks like a bit like Messi. But at Brighton, he transformed to more of a complete slight 6, if you like, changed his game, became more of a complete midfielder, and then went to Liverpool, and he's still doing it there. So play improvement, that happened. And then we'll get just more onto... Brighton did finish 9th. That was their best ever Premier League finish at the time in the 21-22 season. So getting into these articles, there's one from 2017, thesetpieces.com. This was when he was at Ostersunds. And just a couple of quotes from him shows something about the man. He said, "We spend a lot of time and resources on making players feel comfortable in this environment. After all, players play football for a couple of hours a day and are human beings for the rest of the time. From a football and person perspective, it's about learning, trying to improve and making a difference in this small part of the world. If players are open-minded enough, it's a good opportunity for them. When we sign players, we're looking for an attitude that says, I want to improve every day." Just as I do on my OnlyFans account. When you finish a show and people are clapping, this is when they set up this whole Swan Lake performance. When you finish a show and people are clapping, it's comparable to winning a match, Potter admits. You've done it as a group and you feel a buzz. We're trying to grow individuals holistically as well as from a football perspective. I'm not sure how well some of the activities would go down in some clubs in England, though, he says. So that would be good. Someone who has man management skills, not like the dude that we've just had falling out with, it fell out with Ward-Prowse, Todibo, Areola, Kudus, someone else that I forgot, and the fans, you could say, and the owner, whatever. Anyway, so clearly someone who believes in man management. 2019, footballbh.net, footballbloody-hell.net. Really long piece, but to summarise, it says, Graham Potter's tenure at Brighton during the 1920 Premier League season showcased his innovative and dynamic tactical approach, transforming a team previously known for its cautious style. It also says Potter's philosophy emphasised possession-based football, fluid positional play and system adaptability. Potter's ability to implement flexible formations and creative tactics has been instrumental in Brighton's evolution. While retaining defensive solidity, this neutral analysis article from years ago says, the team has become more progressive and offensively potent. We all like a bit of potency. 2020, holdingmidfield.com. Huge article, but to summarise the key points, Brighton are more difficult to analyse than most other teams, largely due to Potter's constant changes of formation. which we've had under Lopetegui, but he just didn't know what he was doing. Slight difference. It says Brighton have started in a 4-4-2. Northie will be happy. A 3-4-3, a 4-2-3-1. This and that. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 others this season. Attempts to pin Brighton down into any one framework is pointless because they will change it as soon as you do, which sounds quite funny. Potter always adjusting Brighton's shape to the opposition. It means there's rarely any massive hole in their game that the opposition can exploit, and if there is, Potter closes it up quickly. Sounds good. This is really important. Despite fighting relegation, I mean, their players weren't great at the time, only once all season have Brighton been thrashed, and that was early on against Manchester City. And this was in, like, did Manchester City years ago at the West. Importantly, my dog's playing in the other room, if you can hear that, sorry. All their other losses have been by, at most, 2 goals. That would be nice. It would be nice if West Ham weren't just the whipping team of 4-0s, 5-0s, 6-0s. So, again, all their other losses have been by, at most, 2 goals. Not bad. Quick conclusion. With constantly changing setup, Brighton always tailor to best compete against their opposition. It must be a nightmare to prepare for. Maintaining certain principles across these minor formations mean the Brighton players never seem to look confused as to what they are meant to be doing, despite all the constant adaptations, like chalk and cheese to what we've had now. And it says the football must be nicer to watch for Brighton fans in the end of Houghton's reign. On to footballidealists.com 2021. Huge article, but to summarise, at this point there can be no doubting of Potter's coaching ability. First and foremost, he attracts young, talented players to the Amex who buy into the club ethos and project, and most importantly, the desire to work under one of the country's most gifted young coaches. So, it says his progressive style of play draws in exciting players to help provide the stability to compete in a top league. So yeah, I mean, again, attracting young, talented players, youth, and buying into a club ethos. That's what we want. That's the West Ham way. Club ethos. We have an ethos. Play attractive football. We don't get hung up on results. We want an attempt to play attractive football and effort, hard work, ideally from young, talented players. That's what we want. It finishes by saying their 3-2-5 attacking shape is starting to become something Premier League fans might become accustomed to. This was in, 2021? Yeah, 2021. Might become accustomed to seeing in the league more with the recent arrival of Thomas Tuchel or whatever. 2022, what a mouthful. Themastermindsite.com. Great website. Quick summary from 2022. They basically, this like a neutral, impartial, tactical analysis football website, themastermindsite.com. They're basically writing like love letters to Graham Potter at this point because they love what he does. One of the most tactically complex teams in world football. No other team could change formation and personnel to the extent that Graham Potter's Brighton do without suffering any consequences. Through all the constant change, it's miraculous to think his team have boasted some of the best possession in the league and one of the soundest defensive structures. The calls continue to come for Potter to move up a level and take on a new challenge, but for now the Brighton managers kept Brighton top half of the table for the vast majority of the 21-22 season. Sounds good. Brighton just about the only team in world football at the moment that can seemingly change shape, formation, personnel on a match-by-match basis to zero consequence. They just love him. They're obsessed with him in a nice way. No, it's just the same thing. But anyway, in 2022, in the 22-23 season, same website, because he was going to go to Chelsea, they just wrapped up his start of the season at Brighton. They say, as conversations continue between Potter and Chelsea, we can't help but feel that this will be our last tactical analysis of his time in charge of Brighton, but we sincerely hope it's not. Potter has made Brighton into one of the Premier League's most fashionable, tactically adept outfits and one of the most exciting teams to watch. The way they achieved success in seasons past through chopping and changing shape and personnel to match the opposition will long be remembered as unlike anything we've ever seen. High praise. So, lots of praise. People whose jobs, people who sit in dark rooms and analysing football games for a laugh and then writing just masses of essays about it are well into him. They love a bit of Potter. And there was also just another quick thing I saw on allfootballapp.com with some like fun facts about him. They're not fun. I don't know why I said fun. Factoids. It says Potter missed a month of football because his dog spilt green tea down him. He's got a dog, as do I, and he drinks green tea. Anyone who watches the Hammers Chat watch-alongs will know that I thrill to a tankard of delicious Taiwanese Dongding oolong tea. It's very healthy. So does Potter. He's a smart man. He says he's having a cup of green teas on his sofa, explained former Macclesfield teammate John Parkin. As he's gone to sit down, his dog has come past him and knocked the tea all down the front of his leg, and he missed 3 weeks because of that. Bit weird, but anyway, nice to finish on a bit of a factoid. So welcome tactical genius who gets young talented players to buy into an ethos, Graham Potter. I look forward to massive success in the coming seasons ahead, FA Cup victories, those kinds of things. I'll actually go back to the London Stadium and watch and cheer about his beard. I'll probably grow a beard, actually, in just pure hirsute homage to the tactical genius that is Graham Potter. And see you on the next watch along on Hams Chat. Thank you.